Well, good morning. I'm beginning this video about the road to Mount Rainier here in the presence of one of Mount Rainier's southern contemporary relatives. Only this relative has more of an explosive, fiery, violent history. Not that Mount Rainier does not. The only difference is this relative here is currently in recovery. This video is all about our journey along the road to the summit of Mount Rainier. It is a long and arduous venture to get to the top, but it is well worth it. This video includes 3 points in time between February, May, and June 2023. It includes 2 training trips and recon missions up to Paradise Park and Camp Muir, and it also includes our summit of Mount Rainier via the Emmons Upper Winthrop Glacier route. It also includes camping at both Camp Muir and at Camp Schurman and the Emmons Flats. I was also lucky enough to have a returning star come back and join me for one of these trips. Andrew Corder from Northwest Wanderer made the trip out from Montana to join Sarah and I for a snow camp in Paradise Park, and then Andrew and I sheltered in Camp Muir from hurricane force 80-mile-per-hour winds on a really blustery May evening. So, from one crater to the next, we end our season with both the easiest and the hardest. Here is our road to the summit of Mount Rainier.
Good morning. It is Sunday, February the 12th, 2023. And the parking lot is empty here at Longmire, Mount Rainier National Park. We're planning on heading up to Paradise if we can. But being that it's Super Bowl Sunday and the road up to Paradise is closed during the week now, we may not see that many people today. All right, it is going on 10 o'clock a.m. and we have arrived. We're climbing up out of the Paradise parking lot. It is our first hike of the year 2023. We are going to make our way up Panorama Point, which is the steepest incline on the route up to the Muir snowfield. It really gives you the first test of physical endurance because it steps it up in elevation gain. Once we get on the top up there, we'll be sitting around 7,000 feet. And there's the lenticular cloud already starting to form on the leeward side of the peak. Another thing to look out for is that atmosphere is condensing on the summit ice cap up there. It's easy to see why people call this spot Panorama Point. It's fantastic views of the lesser peaks in the area, but still very grand and gorgeous to look at. The Tatoosh, right down there below us. And a lot of the big volcanoes in the area. Mount St. Helens should be in view there off in the distance. We have now intersected the main route going up the Muir snowfield. And conditions are perfect for snowshoes. The sunshine is actually warm, but there is kind of a chilly, frozen breeze. It's kind of lingering around. Alright, it is right around 8,000 feet where you really start to feel the deficit of oxygen. You just feel like you have to take more breaks. We are well onto the Muir snowfield right now. Only problem is we got about another hour until we agreed to turn around. At this point in the climb up the snowfield, it really starts to suck. It's all about breathing, rest step, and limiting your breaks. You can see here from our vantage point, we can make a good observation of the weather starting to move in pretty quickly. It's swelling up from the lowlands, that's for sure. Look at the waves and those clouds as they come rolling in. Kind of like creeping death in the Ten Commandments. We are about level with Anvil Rock. We're roughly around 9,000 feet, give or take. Well up on the Muir snowfield, and it's around 1 o'clock. And our turnaround time. I'm very pleased with the time that we made. But we're just not going to make it. Camp Muir is right up there where all those people are going. Another 600 feet probably, but who knows how long. We got the weather rolling in, but the worth of this climb is the gold that we get from just the reconnaissance of the upper mountain. Look at these great views we're getting of the climbing routes out of Paradise. There's Gibraltar ledges right there, Gibraltar Chute, Nisqually Ice Cliff, Nisqually Ice Chute, the upper mountain, it's looking pretty filled in. There's the Nisqually Cleaver, the Nisqually Ice Falls looking really filled in as well. Beautiful clouds rolling up over the top. There's the Cott's Ice Cliff over there, and kind of coming down here to the Turtle Snowfield. And down over there is the castle across the Nisqually and the Wilson Glaciers. And just like that, it's time to descend. We're making our way quickly back down the Muir snowfield into thicker air below. Sarah's making her way towards me pretty quickly. She took her snowshoes off, but that's so she can glissade quicker. Just really incredible lighting right now with like this last little bit of sunshine that's poking through, combined with the crystal clear, cold, dense winter air, makes for a very transparent atmosphere. Only that transparency is going to go away here very quickly because the clouds are overtaking the mountain at an outstanding rate.
down in Paradise Park, and from there it'll be a quick snowshoe back down to the parking lot. Very, very pleased with the outcomes today. We went into this climb up the snowfield with a lot of apprehensions. You just don't really know what physical condition your body's going to be in coming out of winter, and both Sarah and I did very well. We're definitely in better shape than we thought that we would have been in, and just given more time, if we had 1 more hour, we could have made it up to Camp Muir. But now, just judging at the conditions of the weather up there, kind of glad we turned around when we did, because that's going to move down the mountain pretty quickly, and all of this is probably going to be all fogged in some pretty bad weather pretty soon. We both have a pretty good idea of what we need to do in our training now, moving forward, and we're hoping to be more focused and practicing more mountaineering skills the next time we come up to Paradise Park.
Good morning. It is Friday, May the 12th, 2023. Sarah and I are here with our friend Andrew Corder, Northwest Wanderer. We're on a reconnaissance and training mission. It did not take us long to find a suitable place to set up our snow camp. Snow is much better condition than what it was 2 weeks ago. A lot more firm and consolidated. In no time, Andrew has a nice little snow platform cut out. I don't think he noticed any weak layers in the snowpack. He made quick work of that slope with his entrenching tool.
Pretty much all I do at work. Until I gain seniority anyway.
Okay.
That was good. That went on my pants.
Andrew has made a Z-pulley system and is currently wrenching on it. Practicing pulling Sarah out of an imaginary crevasse. So Andrew's replenishing much needed calories. Yeah. What was your thoughts on crevasse rescue training today?
A lot of steps to remember, that's for sure. Hopefully we don't fall in a crevasse. Or if we do, it's me and Aaron's outside, because he kind of has a better grasp on it.
One day, not even that, a few hours, solar radiation did that to Sarah's neat little wall that she built today. Looks like Swiss cheese. Our day in Paradise Park is quickly winding down. It's absolutely beautiful out today, very summer-like, gorgeous, hot. I'd say it was probably hovering around mid to upper 70s, definitely amplified with all the snow around. As Andrew said, it's like a desert up here, but it's just made of snow. We have a very big day tomorrow. We got to wake up early in the morning, get camp packed up, and head up to Panorama Point. From there, we will ascend the Muir snowfield, arrive at Camp Muir, hopefully sometime early morning, enjoy ourselves there for as long as we need to, and then Andrew and I are going to head up to Ingram Flats High Camp. So close to Camp Muir, probably about another 300 meters and a couple hundred feet of elevation gain. The snowfield levels off in this section, but the altitude really gets to you. It's never easy slogging up Muir snowfield. My heart goes out to everyone that has to endure. We have arrived at Camp Muir. Been here for a couple hours. We have the whole dugout shelter to ourselves. It's very windy outside and thus pretty cold. We replenished water supplies, had some hot food, and we're kind of just resting here. Andrew is not feeling the best right now.
Yep.
Altitude seems to be getting to him. closing down the day just right up here on the crest above Camp Muir. Didn't quite make it to Ingram Flats. A couple variables kept us here at base camp. High winds, pretty cold temperatures for one, kind of kept us grounded in the Muir hut. And Andrew just wasn't feeling that well coming up the Muir snowfield. I think he was a tad bit of altitude sickness. So we stayed hunkered down all day. Cooked and ate, drank tea, stayed all hunkered down and warm in the bags. Right here. It was an awesome, relaxing day at 10,000 feet. We're just getting ready now to watch the sunset. It's going on about 8 o'clock. It's supposed to get really cold tonight. I think they're saying it's going to be around 10 degrees on the summit of Mount Rainier tomorrow morning. So I think we made the right call, staying put where we were, and just enjoying everything, how it was dished out to us. Good night, everybody. That has wandered to many different locations across the Northwest. You've seen a lot of variety, what this region has to offer. This was your first time spending 2 nights in the Mount Rainier backcountry. What do you think?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. Really beautiful. The mountain is ridiculous in scale. And glaciers are ridiculous in scale, but Mount Rainier is not the only eye candy at Mount Rainier National Park. Hey, look at those guys over there. Yeah, it's just fantastic park. I need to come back in the summer.
Good morning. Seems like hurricane force winds didn't die all night and they pounded our shelter relentlessly. We've woken up and we're gonna descend. Hopefully it'll calm down if we lose elevation. So powerful, it's knocking us off of our feet. We can't even descend. For a brief moment, we are out of the wind. Some good lighting. I have to say that was the most brutal descent of the Muir snowfield I've ever made. Powerless against the forces of nature. Let's head back down into the land of green things.
Good evening. It is Friday, June the 23rd, 2023. Summer has officially started on the calendar, and we are experiencing the longest days of the year right now. And a big day has definitely arrived for Sarah and I. We are here in Mount Rainier National Park. We are camped in Glacier Basin. It sits around 6,000 feet. We started at White River Campground, and the hike up here was very pleasant, very peaceful through Mount Rainier's beautiful subalpine forests. Now that we're here and our camp is all set, we're getting all rested for the big grand finale this season. This is probably the last weekend we will get to go climbing this year because we have a pretty busy summer coming up. In about a week I have to switch roles to be Aaron the farmer, and Sarah has to go back to work, and we have plans of going overseas this summer. So that leaves us this weekend alone to try and make the ultimate goal for us this year, which is the summit of Mount Rainier. We feel like we're definitely ready. We're riding on the back of a good streak of summits and climbing already this season. We've had excellent weather. The snow melted really fast, and the south side of Mount Rainier has seen quite a bit of melt off. So that is why we chose to come here and attempt the Emmons Winthrop Glacier. The volunteer ranger at the Wilderness Information Center said that the Emmons Winthrop is the best route on the mountain at this moment. So we're really excited to get up there and give it a try. We do have a history with this route. We have tried it twice in the past without success. Altitude sickness was one time, forced us to turn around, and another time hurricane force winds out of the north. We're lifting our tent up off of the snow at Camp Schurman and wrapping it around us in the middle of the night, and it didn't stop all night and into the next morning, so we spent our energy descending. But all that was before the days of Facebook and YouTube for me, and the road to Rainier has led to these paths right now, and whatever happens on this trip. It'll be really good to get up there. We're not camping actually at Camp Schurman. We have a permit to stay at Emmons Flats, so the goal is to hopefully wake up relatively early in the morning. We're going to climb the interglacier, we're going to gain the Emmons, make a pit stop at Camp Schurman, get some intel, maybe use the restroom there, and head up just a tad bit further to Emmons Flats, where we'll make our high camp. And then hopefully we can get off of our feet, rest all day, and be in good position to make a crack at the summit in the middle of the night. We have a iffy weather window. There's a pattern of afternoon thunderstorms that happened today. It was definitely booming in thunder and lightning for a good couple of hours on the hike up. And the same pattern is going to persist all weekend, but it's supposed to be clear in the morning with thunderstorms gathering from noon on pretty much every day. So no matter what happens, we're here to give it a try. We're going to give it our best, and going to come down or summit in good fashion and good spirits.
It's very comfortable out. The temperature is quite cool for late June. And compared to May, the freezing level is going to be, I think, a little bit lower on this expedition. We hovering right around 10 or 11,000 feet, or it was higher than that last month. And I just have to say, we don't get to come to Glacier Basin that often, and glad that we're here now because it's very pretty. Just admiring it. Tomorrow we're gonna head up to the head of the basin right up here, and then we are gonna turn left. We're gonna climb the inner glacier. You can't see it from here. Looks kind of dirty up there. It's pretty melted out. And then you can probably see St. Elmo Pass. It's right about there. That's where all the climbers go to drop down to the Winthrop and go climb Liberty Ridge. It's just a nice small bowl of meadows that are just starting to pop right now with glacier lilies. They're everywhere just up the trail. Here's a shot of our camp at Glacier Basin. It's nice and protected, sheltered in the trees, and it's pretty dry at the moment. Good morning. It is in the neighborhood of 4:30 a.m. We've been up since 2. Camp is all packed and we are ready. We are making our way up into the parabolic cirque of the pretty diminished interglacier, which is right up in here. We gotta climb that to Camp Curtis, which is up there, and then we'll be dropping down onto the Emmons. We are approaching the top of the interglacier, and the views of the Cascades are starting to open up and be splayed out in front of us. All right, we have reached the vicinity of Camp Curtis, and it's the first grand view of the trip and everything that lies before us. Here's the Emmons Glacier below us, Little Tahoma right over there. There's still a lot of snow filling in this route, and there's the dome of Rainier. We're going to drop down this way. We're going to gain the Emmons down here, and then we're going to make our way up to Camp Schurman, which is right there. We're actually above the camp right now. And then up there, but kind of out of view, is the summit of Steamboat Prow. So when you climb Rainier, you're going to be transitioning a lot between rock and scree and snow and ice. And right now we're making a pretty crucial transition between the interglacier and the Emmons down there. And same thing on the DC. When you climb that route, you transition from the glacier to the cleaver, Disappointment Cleaver, and then you're on snow and you get back on the glacier. Anytime you do that, you want to take in coils and shorten up the line between you and your partner so you're not dragging the rope in the dirt. And that minimizes any rocks you'll knock loose that might potentially hit people below you. And it also keeps the rope out of crampon points. And it also keeps it out of the dirt, which isn't good for the rope. And we'll be on the glacier here in just a moment. And we'll be plying out the rope and then transitioning back to glacier travel. The rock on Mount Rainier is very loose. Obviously it is volcanic in origin, and it's kind of just like plastered and cemented together. It's giant rocks. Woo! Yeah, that's a big moat. The moat is where the glacier peels away from the rock face. You're definitely a danger be reckoned with. Don't want to end up in any moats. Okay, slow down a bit. Crossing. All right. Okay, coming up to the lip. Okay, over.
If I need to slow down or stop.
Perfect.
For that one.
Yep, we're good. Actually, go a little faster if you can.
Well, you're about to go up, so.
Yeah, but I'm good. Yeah. Perfect. Look at that. We have arrived at Camp Schurman, which sits around, I'm going to say 9,500 feet, give or take, which when compared with Camp Muir, it's about 600 to 700 feet lower in elevation. This is the helicopter pad here in the foreground. Also compared with Camp Muir. Camp Muir is a bit easier to get to, I think, because you don't have to rope up to get to that camp. And it has a nice cozy shelter. Here at Camp Schurman, you're just a little bit more exposed. You have to sleep in a tent, so there's a lot of tent pads around. You have excellent views of the Emmons Glacier over there on the left. When I get over here onto the right, we have the Winthrop, which actually looks pretty broken up right now. We got all these tent pads down here. So we were actually permitted to stay at Emmons Flats, which is, I think, just right up here. And in the morning, you gain the corridor, which is this crevasse-free area between two broken up sections. We kind of just weave our way up to the top. It's a pretty long glacier slog. So this here is actually the summit of Steamboat Prow. That there is the ranger hut. It's staffed right now. And it's just sitting on this cleaver, looking over the Emmons. And you can see down here, these clouds are actually getting bigger by the minute. They weren't there this morning. I think that is the beginning of this afternoon's thunderstorms that are forecasted. All right, we have arrived at Emmons Flats High Camp. Sarah just set an anchor. We are going to just augment and make this tent platform better. We just wanted to be tying in with the rope just in the event that there is a crevasse under us and we punch through with the shovels. Tent is all set up. Sarah's gonna get her bed in here in just a second. It's just in time because all those clouds that were very tiny wisps an hour or two ago are growing and gaining momentum. Can't even see the top of Little Tahoma anymore. And I think we're due for an afternoon whiteout. They are moving pretty quick. The weather can do whatever it wants to do for the meantime, as long as it's clear in the morning.
Well, good evening. I have no idea what time it is right now, but the sun is going down rather quickly. We spent most of the afternoon just relaxing. When we're about to do an undertaking like we got in store for us tomorrow, it's best to just get off of your feet when you get to your high camp and spend as much time laying down as you can. We also caught up on our hydration. Water bottles are filled and ready to go in the morning. And we're just doing the last preparations before we go to bed early. The Emmons Winthrop Glacier is one of the easier routes up Mount Rainier, but it should still be respected. I expect it's probably going to freeze overnight. There's a lot of steep slopes up there. There's a lot of big crevasses. There's been numerous cases of people losing their lives by falling or slipping on the ice and just sliding thousands of feet down the Emmons, and eventually you're just going to hit a crevasse if that happens. So definitely don't want any accidents, and just hope to have a good climb, to have good luck, and to enjoy ourselves, and most of all to have fun, because we're already this trip is just outstanding. Everything has been working out according to plan so far, and it'd be good to end the climbing season with a tremendous bang. Well, good morning. We are a little over 12,000 feet on the Emmons Glacier. It's very cold, frozen,
We just climbed a bunch of steep sections in the dark, and making pretty good progress now around this giant big crevasse we got up here to the left. The sun is just about to come up, and making it happen, putting the Nike swoosh to it. Okay, slow down just a tad, babe. Sun's coming up. Here it comes. Crossing over holy moly.
We are in the saddle between Liberty Cap over there. We could go summit it, but it'd be cheating without climbing its hardest routes. And there's the summit up there. It's pretty melted out. And it looks like we might get to take all of our gear off before we head up there. All right, we took the packs and the rope off down in the saddle at the base of the summit dome. And now we're climbing the last 100 feet to Columbia Crest. It should be right up there where all that steam is coming up. Here we are, Columbia Crest.
I think it might be.
Here is the view from 14,411 foot Columbia Crest. It's been 8 years since Sarah and I returned to this spot. It's our first time summiting via the Emmons Winthrop route. And we've already come across that way down there from DC twice before. So much has changed between June 2015 and now. Sarah and I are married. There's a lot of friends and family who aren't with us anymore. One of them, his ashes are up here right now. Put them up here last time we were here. And just taking it in. It's actually a very broad summit. You can't really see too much out away. You have to save all of that for the climb up and down. You get to see the surrounding state of Washington, which from here you can see about 3/4 of it. Sarah, it's your third time to the summit of Mount Rainier. What do you think?
Still breathtaking. It's so much work to get up here. It's totally worth it.
It is a lot of work to get up here. It's so much work to get up here.
I am so hungry and I've been so cold all morning. It's still totally worth it.
It was the coldest ascent we've ever made of Mount Rainier, I
Oh,
think.
100%. I'm wearing like all the clothes I brought right now.
There's no wind though.
No, it's kind of weird. It's been warmer before with way more wind. But that's awesome because Emmons can be extremely unsafe when it's windy. So we didn't really have to contend with that.
Looking to the south, and I don't know if you can see it, but Mount St. Helens is right there. And because the top of Rainier is so broad and it is made up of two overlapping volcanic craters, you can't really see straight down its flanks. That's the rim of the west crater over there. Still a lot of snow filling it in. And then when you go this way, you can look down towards South Hill, Frederickson, Enumclaw area will be coming into view right down here. That's Liberty Cap. And now we're looking off towards the north. That's the way we got to descend in just a few minutes. Because remember, the summit is only halfway, and the most dangerous part of the climb still awaits us.
Never again.
It is going on 1 o'clock p.m. and we have descended safely down the Emmons Glacier. We're quickly packing up camp to make our way home. I wish we could stay one more night and relax. Climbing Mount Rainier definitely takes a lot out of you, and I know as soon as we get home we're going to be going right to bed and then for a week eating everything we could possibly see to gain all those calories back that we just spent. As luck and as time would have it, this was our last big climb this year, and I'd say we definitely Nike swished this climbing season. We got a lot of new mountains that we wanted to climb and went back and visited some old peaks and learned some new things, and we finally got another summit of Rainier under our belt via a different route than we had previously gone before. Sarah and I both agree it was one of the creepiest experiences ever, climbing the Emmons Glacier in pure darkness this morning. We started about 1:20. There was no moon, nothing but stars, billions of stars all over the place. And as we were climbing up, you know, we have our headlamps and the seracs are kind of just looming off to each side of the corridor, and you know, you're just waiting for one of those things to break free. And I thought I did hear an ice fall somewhere in the darkness this morning. It just makes the hair stand up on the back of your spine. Makes you alert, gives you a heightened sense of awareness for sure. You might as well be on a different planet when you're climbing in darkness like that. You know, we have the ice in front of us. It was very cold, and all of the headlamps of all of the climbers were blending in with the stars above us. So it was just a brilliantly fantastic experience. Being scared, being exhilarated, and being overwhelmed with joy once we got to the top. So Sarah said it best when we were walking in along the Glacier Basin Trail on our way up here. Feels kind of good to end with something that seems like the easiest mountain. Constance was really hard, a lot of route finding, a lot of technical challenges. The brothers fit it all in a day, that was hard. Mount Baker, when we were up there on the Boulder Glacier, nothing but route finding, not really knowing where we were going. And plus the trail up there wasn't maintained. But then here, Mount Rainier National Park, there wasn't one blowdown that we had to walk over on the way in. There was a nice path beat in to the glacier pretty much all the way up, despite the altitude, which, I don't know, I didn't feel too much of the altitude. I was just yawning a lot as I was going up. I was just really tired. But we felt good, you know, but besides the dangers of maybe falling, you know, or stepping into a crevasse, it's a pretty pleasant experience to end our 2023 climbing year with.
wind.